whatever. Alright. So, this is my first-person shooter aim trainer, and the general idea is that I have added a whole bunch of things that enable you to mimic games of quite a lot of sort. So, this guy is just going to dodge around, and you can program his patterns in. So I guess I'll show that first. Bot options, and this bot that's in is called Really Dumb Dodging Bot. You can name him whatever. And just to take a look at him, I have all sorts of different profiles of bots, and you can add this in through the menu system. So this is the guy I have in here. This is his health, how much he gets knocked back by things, how quickly he respawns, different movement profiles for how much you can, how quickly he accelerates on the ground, how high he jumps, and you can configure those movement profiles. His height, his width of his body, if he has a head or not, how wide the head is, how up or down the head is, and then dodging profiles. So I can go into this, and I can make all these different profiles for dodging, and there's actually a profile editor for individual ones of these. And sometime between 1 and 5 seconds, he's going to change from whatever he currently is to a random one within this list, and there will be a weighting to that. So you can make it so that he's more likely to do one thing than the other. And then the weapons he uses, and you can give him any of these weapons, he'll switch through those. Yeah, this is all in Unreal Engine 4. So you can edit the bot types there, you can create new, you can delete, and if you edit any of the existing ones, and you can just like hop into it and change it to 2 and then confirm, and now there's a second one, you can mess around with that. I'm just going to delete that so I don't confuse myself later. Alright, then we have dodge profiles, so I can go into here, and you saw that long strafes is what I had him doing. So this bot, he's going to try to keep in within this distance of 250 units to 1,000 away from me. He's going to toggle left and right. He's not going to randomly toggle forward and back. He's not going to react to any damage. He's just going to keep doing his thing left and right. If he was going to react to damage, you could have a chance to ignore it and not react. You could have a minimum and maximum delay before he changes his strafe upon taking damage, and how often he'll do that reaction. This is how often he jumps and crouches, all that fun stuff. So you can see here, he's just doing some simple stuff like that. And this is just the simple long strafe profile. And then movement profiles, just to show that real quick. I think he's probably default. So yeah, simple run speed, ground speed, reflex, yeah, turnover. Be neat if I had those things. And then, just simple movement stuff here. You can apply it to players or bots. And then we have player options where you can came up with some simple little things based on other games. So movement profile you can select from that list that I had. The weapons here, I have 8 weapons you can toss in. That's not really a hard limit, just figured that's as many as I'd toss in for now. And then weapon profiles. This is where it gets fun, because I've spent a good bit of time on this. So looking at something simple like the rifle. It's hit scan instead of projectile, it's fully auto, and let me change that. So I'm going to use the rifle, and I just apply changes. It's a little bit slower and small projectiles, so you can't quite see it. And I'll change that back. This is a first-person aim trainer that I've been working on, just a little personal project. So instead of projectile, I'll make it hit scan, and I'll leave it at fully auto because I don't want to play with it too much. It's damage per shot. Shots per click is like you hit fire, and then that's how many hit scan traces it does, or how many projectiles it fires, how frequently it fires, how much of a knockback factor it has, whether it pierces or not. All this good stuff here. You can see it there. Charging, so a weapon that uses charging is the bow and arrow. Uncharged damage 25, time to charge in half a second will be fully charged, and you can set the velocities for whenever it's uncharged, and eventually it creeps up to full damage and full speed. So show the bow here. Just tap left click, goes like that, my lame little arrow, because I am not a graphical artist. But if you hold fire down, it goes like that. Alright, so that's a charge weapon. And what I can do here, you know, I'll just do this just to screw around. So we're going to take bow and arrow, we'll call it bow and arrow 2, we'll make it 5 shots per click. And it's still a charge weapon, but now what we're going to do with the projectile is we're going to add a velocity Z, which is a left-right. We'll make it negative, you know what, let's do negative 800 to 800. So now I have a bow and arrow that whenever it fires, alright, I need to apply it to my player. Change bow and arrow to bow and arrow 2, confirm, apply, go back. There, random spread, fires 5 arrows like that. So yeah, you can very much screw around with things and do all sorts of stupid things that don't make any sense. Then bow and arrow 2, I can also go to, let's see, what else? What else is fun? Shots per burst. Well, it's already charged. I don't want to make burst right now. Burst is like you click it once and then it fires 1, 2, 3, you know, like that sort of thing. So you can do how many shots per burst and how much time in between. So yeah, you can make a lot of weapons here. My goal here, whenever I came up with this list of options, was can you make almost anything from any game that you've seen before? And I think I've succeeded in a lot of that. So now the arrows are going to bounce off the world. Wait, I'm probably forgetting some other option that's required for that one, or maybe I didn't hit apply. Let me just double check. Bounce factor. I'm sure I'm forgetting some option that is required for it to not destroy whenever it touches the wall. Some of this is not entirely polished. You know, let's give it a homing acceleration. Now this is going to be stupid. Is there a checkbox for that? Okay. Yeah, you can see him kind of starting to home in on him. Oh. Yeah, you can very much abuse this in horrible ways. Alright, you can make it inherit the owner's velocity. So this is a 0 to 1 scale. So if I fire it while strafing left, it's going to go like that. Fire it strafing right, it goes like that. Jump, and it goes a little bit more up. So that would allow you to do things like the tribe's weapons. Yeah, this is UE4. So then, what else? We can change the gravity scale. We can change the projectile radius, which also changes the size of them. So these are going to be giant arrows. I just doubled the size of them. The ammo system is working. I just don't like to have it on. It shouldn't inherit my velocity after fired. Alright, so let's... Oh, it's because I had the homing acceleration still on. So it was homing in on the enemy. So if I go like that... That's weird. I don't have a clue what they're doing. Okay. I'll have to look into that. That's neat. Whatever the hell's going on. So yeah, I can change the graphics. So now, instead of arrows, they're plasma balls, which are horrifically unoptimized, and you really don't want to use these. But whatever. Just playing around with options. Let's go back to arrows. You can make it so they explode. You can make it automatically explode after a certain amount of time, like a rocket. Yeah, I'll show you some of the bot options in a little bit here. So, remote detonation, so the next time you click, it will destroy them. The explosion radius, damages, the self-damage multiplier, whether it explodes whenever it hits an enemy, all this good stuff, and delays before and after. The spread, so this is something I spent a bit of time on. Let me go to the rifle, just so you can see what that stuff is. So the spread, there are going to be 8 different spread profiles here. They're going to be split up between whether you're stationary or moving, whether you're standing or crouching, whether you're aiming down the sight or hip fire. So for any of these, you can have how much is gained per shot, how much is lost per second, the minimum amount of spread, and the maximum amount of spread. So just to show you the rifle here. Oh, I left it as a projectile apparently. Yeah, let's make that hit scan, save it, apply changes. Alright, so I start firing, it's 100% accuracy, and then it starts to spread out a little bit like that. So that was how Soldier's weapon in Overwatch kind of worked initially. They've tweaked it a little bit, but the general idea is it starts out at negative 1.5, which means that you, if the spread is less than or equal to 0, it has no spread. So since I put it to a negative value, it'll take a little bit before it builds up to a positive value and actually has spread. And you can tweak these numbers, you can copy, like if you wanted to make it so that it didn't start with that initial minimum spread, you can copy, paste, hop into all these other ones. Just go like that. And aiming down the sight is something I've not implemented yet, but now it obviously instantly starts spreading after the first shot. And I'm just going to set that back. Copy, paste, 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 and paste, paste. Okay. And then recoil, you can configure all the recoil stuff and how quickly it goes up and down, or how quickly it goes up, whether or not it goes down, how long it takes to go down. A multiplier on the first shot is for burst, so if you have a burst weapon that jumps up quicker, then you can do that. So yeah, the idea here is you can create most spreads from, I think, Battlefield. Counter-Strike I have not played, so I probably need some input from people who have played Counter-Strike as to whether this covers everything or not. I suspect I'm missing a vertical offset, because I understand there are weapons with like a T-shape pattern, which basically you start firing and then the weapon fires higher than your crosshair. So there'd be like a vertical gain per shot, a minimum amount lost per second, min and max, that sort of thing. And I think that would cover it in Counter-Strike, but I'm not sure. So anyway, that is my weapon stuff, and there was a request to see what some of the other bots do, so I'm going to get rid of him. I'm going to add my hard dodging. This is something I'm legitimately bad at shooting, so like, it doesn't help that I have a little bit more input lag since I'm streaming, but what he does, and I have him doing hard dodging, long strafes reacts, and quick strafes. He's more likely to just like tap left, right, left, right, left, right, but half the time he holds a button, and then whenever he gets hit, he's going to change his direction. So if you see him start to do something, like strafe in one direction for a long period of time, and then you catch on, you hit him, he's going to change his direction as soon as you start hitting him. So he's obnoxious to hit, but his delay between getting hit and reacting is 1/8 of a second to 1/4 of a second, so it's not instantaneous. If you can get a beat on him, you could do a little bit of that. And then the quick strafing that he does the majority of the time, or 2/3 of the time, is just a simple every 0.2 to 0.3 seconds swap directions, and he's tethered to this distance range. And honestly, it's a little too close for comfort. Like, if somebody's doing these quick strafes to me, I want to back up. I want to be away from him. But once he gets closer to me, I lose my comfort zone, and I start whiffing hard, So this is something I've been trying to use to practice. And you can see in the top left corner, it'll show my accuracy over the last kill and session. And I can press a button to reset that, so I'll reset my stats. So, last kill, 25%. Let's see if I can do a little better. No, that's worse already. Much worse. 21%. Yeah, if you want to make me miss lightning gun, ion cannon, do quick strafes. Just be obnoxious like this. I will hate you forever. I'm horrible at hitting things like that. But if you're going in a straight line, I'm going to have no problem hitting you. So, that's something I've been practicing with. Helps a little bit. I still have some more work to do, obviously. Some other bots you can do. Toss in a stupid jumping bot here. This is a fun one. Let's change his profile. We're going to make my stupid jumping bot use a high jumper profile. And we'll apply changes, and now he jumps up in the air. So, nice little mid-air rocket practice, and you can tweak his knockback coefficients and all sorts of fun stuff, his air acceleration. And then here's a fun option I added. Predict enemy location. So I turn this on. That little ball shows me where he's going to be and the amount of time it would take my current projectile to travel to that location. So it's got a little bit of correction for gravity in there. Might not be 100% perfect, but it's pretty damn accurate. So this is something you can use to just get a sense of where you should be aiming to hit somebody. And you can practice with that on for a little bit and then play around with that. So that's just a nifty little thing that I added and was playing around with. No, this is not Reflex. This is actually Unreal Engine. Be neat if it was Reflex, because I kind of want to make some nifty little movement profiles, stuff that gives you like Quake-like movement and other Source Engine stuff, but that's probably a long way off. So, yeah, I'm still playing around with this in my spare time, coming up with some interesting ideas here and there, and got a lot I want to implement, a lot I want to fix up. And something else, I guess I'll show you guys this. This is something that I don't know how much you followed the pro scenes of some other games like Counter-Strike and Overwatch, but yeah, sorry about that, I haven't updated the title. The pro scenes of those games have been plagued by cheating and cheating accusations. There are some times where you're watching and you can't tell if somebody's actually cheating or not. And maybe they are, maybe they're not. But it's hard to tell unless you've used aimbots to know what they can really do. So I've made an aimbot here, and I typed in a command to unlock it. So now any weapon profile, I'll go to the rifle, has an extra option down here that was not here before. So this is a fully fledged aimbot built into the game engine. It's not like it's anything that hooks into the game. And you can make it so that it's a second button you hold down and then it locks on or does whatever. You can change its priority, or you can make it enable whenever you click fire automatically and disable whenever you click fire for like a trigger bot type thing. You can change the lock strength. So I guess I'll show you the most obvious aimbot ever. I hold right click and it's tracking onto his head. And then you can go to rifle here, cheats, lock strength, knock it down to 0.5, and this is still very strong. I might have actually failed to click on the right thing. No, it's still 0.5. Yeah, it's still really, really strong. 0.1. This is where it gets... I'm just holding right click. I'm not actually tracking with my mouse. I'm not moving my mouse at all. But, you know what? Let me change bots. Hard dodging, and yeah, heuristics, this is exactly why I'm working on this. I can press F2 and it records a minute straight of like my position, enemy location, or my location, enemy location, our face angles, our health, whether we're firing or not, and I'm running it through Python scripts and I'm writing to determine if I'm cheating or not. And I've still got a lot more work to do on that end, but it's coming up with some pretty interesting results. So I'm not moving my mouse at all. Notice my crosshair never goes too far from him, and whenever I strafe in his direction, it locks on. Whenever he's strafing in the opposite direction, it doesn't. It fails. So just using my mouse a little bit to like get closer to him, it's a lot more successful than whenever I was trying to track manually like this. So this is manual. Manual shots. I'm missing. I'm way off every now and then. This is aimbot. Whenever I am off, I'm not off by much. Now, watching certain pros in certain games, I swear I see this. I swear I see the exact behavior of, like, they miss and then they're not off by much. Like, their crosshair is immediately right behind their target. And seeing that, I think, if I can get replays of this stuff and parse it down to the same format as the replays that I'm parsing here for this game, I wonder if I can catch these guys. I don't know. Maybe it's just, you know, wishful thinking, but we'll see if anything comes from it. But some of the other options in here for the cheats, so like you can change the field of view, max speed, so even if it's a full lock where it's going to track 100%, you can knock the max speed way down, and then it goes to the point where it's like I'm holding right click and it doesn't lock and track immediately. It actually has to catch up to him and it can fall behind. It's not a smoothing variable, but yeah, so like people could use these sorts of cheats in actual things. Yeah, this is FPS Aim Trainer, project I've been working on. A lot of options in here. I should probably toss it into a separate VOD after I'm done with this. You can make it so it doesn't track vertical, so that's a nifty section here. But yeah, this is the Aimbot section. You can give it a trigger bot, a delay, the field of view that it requires for doing shots. Oh yeah, this is fun. Back in the days of CRTs and screensavers, something that would enthrall me would probably be similar to this. So let me go to my rocket launcher. Alright, so it's a little bit too strong of a track, it's jerking around too much, so let's knock that down. Let's go down to 0.2. Maybe not quite strong enough. But yeah, just projectile aimbots are fun to watch. Yeah, I've never made a cheat that hooks into any other game, so that's not a skill that I have. Did I hit the wrong gun? Let me make sure I'm on the right one. Let's make that a little faster, and oh, I know what I should do. I'll just knock this down and knock that up. And I'll add some more bots to fire at. Alright. So I'm holding right click. That's all I'm doing. It's just looking for targets to midair with rockets. If this was a screensaver back in the day, I would like hypnotically just be attached to it and just watch it, because it's fun watching things get knocked around by midairs, right? I could watch this for way too long. So, other abusive things, you know, let me change that weapon back to the traditional bow and arrow. Default weapons, bow and arrow, let's you, save, apply. Okay, so bow and arrow, the aimbot for this one, I'm holding left click and then I hold right click and watch what happens. Notice it's not locking vertically, but it's a trigger bot so that whenever the target location gets into my crosshair, it lets go. And, you know, let me change that to a different bot. Get rid of all these guys. I'll toss this wonderful guy into abuse. Oh, I know what's wrong. He's not locking at the head for the bow and arrow. So, aimbot, headlock, confirm, apply. Okay. There. So if you've ever seen somebody playing Hanzo in Overwatch, look for this. And let me hide the predicted enemy location so it's a little bit less obvious. Do you see that? The little wiggle. There's just the slightest little flick of like exactly where it needs to be. I think I've seen one person doing this. I think. I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to call him out, because maybe he's just a good Hanzo player. But, you know, like, I hold right click for a second and then flick, flick. Like, that sort of stuff, I just watch and think, that looks suspicious, you know? But, yeah, so these are the types of aimbots that people very, very well could be using online. It's very strong stuff. Just make that a stream 24/7. Well, that'd be fun. I'll toss that back on. Get rid of you, and... alright. I could probably add more variables to make it look more humanized, like a wind up and wind down with speed, so it's not so jumpy. But yeah, Overwatch should be so much better busted if the game didn't just give you headshots. The thing that bothers me about Overwatch is that the only way to really know if somebody's cheating is if you're watching their game. So like, you have to watch their stream, and their stream might be 30 to 60 frames per second, so you can't really see everything. And if you're watching spectator cam, it's not right. The stuff you're seeing is not what they saw on their screen. So it's bad, unfortunately. You can't really catch people right now, even though I'm damn near sure there are certain people cheating in the game, and some people have very strong evidence against them. People are still going to say, well, you don't know for sure. In some cases you don't. It's a bad situation right now. And I'm looking forward to the replays coming out, but I'm hesitant to say they would correct everything. But, so yeah, this is my first-person shooter Aim Trainer, and I've been having fun making it for a couple months now. Yeah, trigger botting Hanzas, fun stuff, huh? But yeah, I have these vague thoughts in my mind of like taking this a little further and making it so it's something playable and practicable by more people, adding more maps and leaderboards and maybe scenarios, so you could make it so you have to hit X% accuracy over X period of time without, or over Y period of time without dying, you know, like the silly little things like that. But yeah, ZTN. So is that, just curious if anybody on stream would think, you know, is that something I'd pay $5-10 for on Steam? I don't know. Be cool to get a game on Steam, but I just don't know what the interest is like for this. Also, as I play around with my heuristics, I'm probably going to bother people to just like see what the recordings of them aiming at certain things look like, and then run it through my Python script. Friction XL? Yeah, let's see what that looks like. Let me get rid of all these guys. I'll add a dumb dodging bot. I will edit the bots. Movement profile, we'll call him a Quake-like one. I will apply changes and go back in game. What's he look like? He looks like that. He's running a little faster than I think a Quake-like thing would be. But let's take a close look here. You know what, let me do the quicker dodging guy. Oops. Where are you? Hard dodging. Change hard dodging to the Quake-like one, confirm, apply. So you can see he's not doing the Overwatch thing of instantly left, right, left, right, left, right. He's like actually winding up, winding down. And then I can go to my Quake-like profile, and I have his run speed at 900. That's probably a little much. I'll knock him down to 750. His ground XL is 8,000. That seems a little fast. I'll try 6,000. We'll see what that looks like. Does that look a little better for Quake-like stuff? Then I can change my own profile to that too. Oh wait, sorry, edit default. You know what? Let's select my Quaker profile. And yeah, I'm Quake-like movement. So now that I've done that, I don't do the instant left, right, left, right, left, right at full speed. I'm doing more Quake-like, and I'm matching my opponent's speed. And unfortunately I don't have, you know, circle strafing and all that stuff in, but that's kind of a long shot thing, because I've actually programmed this entire game in Blueprint, which is a visual scripting language, and it's powerful. You know, I've made all these menus, I've got everything working, all the weapon system is all tied in with Blueprint. Not a single line of C++ code has been written for this project. That said, I don't think I can do that for, what's it called, for movement. I think I will actually need to open up C++ and do things to get custom movement like Quake stuff. And I can do that. It's just something I haven't delved into yet. So the Quake-like movement options are probably going to be a little bit limited until the future. But still, that's what I've got right here. Yeah, presets like CSGO, Quick Live, that would be quite easy to do. I could definitely let the community fill in the blanks, because all these profiles that I have here, like all these bot types, these are in a folder called .bot.save, and all these dodging profiles .dodge.save, and all the everything is just a .save file. So you could make your own, toss those save files into a directory of somebody else, and then they'd have all those at their fingertips. So it's none of these are hard-coded values. They're just literally raw dumps of the stuff that you input into the menu system and create. So, yeah, maybe I'll tweak this a little bit more and try to get it into a workable position and see if I can toss it up on Steam, because I think that'd be kind of neat. But if anybody has any... Yeah, Quake moves in UE4. I've seen that too. I'm sure it's doable. I've actually made a Quake 1-like movement engine in Unity before, and that worked out pretty well, but then I decided Unity was just not worth my time. So rather than being the first thing I started with on Unity, I figured it'd be one of the later things I'd do in Unreal. So yeah, I think that covers pretty much all the options I have with the Aim Trainer right now. Sensitivity is scaled to Source and Quake engines, and I was probably going to include a drop down for like scale this to Overwatch, scale it to Reflex, and yeah, stuff like that. But for now, that's what I have. And anyway, I think I'm going to cut the stream off for now, and thank you guys for watching, both for the reflex mapping competition stuff and the FPS Aim Trainer. It's nice to be able to show this off, because I think I started this project in like June or something, but I had the ideas written for it back in 2014, if not earlier. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to call it for now, and if you guys have any questions about the game, feel free to send me a message on Discord later or something.